You're listening to the SojuTalk Nation podcast, episode 49. On today's episode, Alice and Koro joined the show for the first ever SojuTalk Kpop Draft 2022. So sit back and chill with friends. You're listening to a special edition of the SojuTalk Nation. You're listening to the SojuTalk Nation podcast, K-pop Draft 2022 mid-year edition. We're recording on Sunday, July 24th, 2022. I'm your host, Crispy, and joining me this week for this very special episode, a person who owns a very, very lovely cat, a runner, a super athlete, traveling all over North America for all these amazing half marathons and events. The one and only Alice. Welcome to the show, Alice.
Hey, thank you. Thank you. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, it is going to be wild. And joining us, he is no stranger to spicy takes, no stranger to a little bit of friction and conflict on the server. He is an anime expert, master, a sensei, if you will. The one and only Koro. Welcome to the show, sir.
Thanks for having me. Time for some chaos and hashtag rigged. Start it now.
All right. Well, thank you both for joining this very special episode. I have this in the works for quite some time. I think I told you guys about this maybe 3 or 4 months ago. And it's the day's here. We're here. We have the list. So we have about a total of 107 songs from the first half of the year. Let's go over the rules just to give everyone kind of the overview of how things are going to go and what this draft is all about. So, each of us, each one of us are going to draft a top 10 K-pop songs of 2022 playlist. How drafts work, if you've ever watched the NFL or the NBA, they do it in MLB, but it's not as televised. But you have the number one pick and you select that player, or in this case, that song, and no one else can select that song for their playlist for their team. We're going to go in order of 1, 2, 3, and then go loop back to the top. The order selected randomly is Alice, and then me, and then Koro. So that is our order for today. The songs will be songs released between January to June of this year, 2022. The songs will have been covered on the main show, our title tracks, have a music video, or promoted on music shows, or had some large impact on K-pop this year. So they didn't necessarily have to be covered on the main show. It could just be something that was missed, or it was just on a week that there were just a ton of releases. But hopefully we covered the basis of the majority of songs released between January and June of this year. Draft restrictions. So your playlist restrictions, each of us has to draft at least one solo performer, 2 boy groups, 2 girl groups, with the other 5 songs having no restrictions. So the first, and it doesn't necessarily have to be in the first 5 picks, but you have to draft at least one song from a solo performer, 2 songs from boy groups, and 2 songs from girl groups. I think I covered it. Guys, how are you feeling going into the draft? Let's start with Alice.
Well, I'm feeling pretty confident. I am happy with my list. Got a lot of backups. I was going pretty deep into your psychology and Koro's psychology and thinking about how to mind game this. So, I'm ready to go. I'm feeling good.
Koro, how are you feeling about the mind games that Alice is bringing in, kind of, with her tons and tons of spreadsheets? So we have spreadsheets. Alice went above and beyond. Whoa, made her own. How are you feeling, Koro?
I thought I was ready. I thought I was on the mind game train as well. But once I heard 3rd pick, everything went down the drain. We're just going to have to roll with the punches, maybe have some ad-lib picks out of nowhere. We'll see.
Well, Koro, the number 3 pick has had some famous luck in the past. Famously, Michael Jordan was the number 3 pick. Yeah, okay. So, there you go.
Actually, I'm feeling a little better now.
Right? And number 2 is where things mess up. Maybe I take the Sam Bowie of it all, and I give you a present of the Michael Jordan of this draft. So, yeah, man. No, all really good stuff. I just want to thank you guys at the very top. This is going to be incredible. It might be a little rough. It may not be super clear to everyone, but we'll push through. At the end of the draft, we will have the list posted as a link in the description. I'll figure out a way to post it, but you guys will be able to see the draft playlist. So yeah, let's get into it. So let's start with the number 1 pick of the SojuTalk Nation K-pop Draft 2022 Mid-Year Edition. Alice, what is your selection?
All right. So I was gaming this out and I was thinking, for my first top draft pick, I did a thought exercise. I imagine that someone woke up out of a 25-year coma and came up to me and said, "Hey, Alice, I've been hearing about this thing called K-pop. Can you explain it to me?" And I had to show them one video that represented K-pop in the first half of this year. So I was asking myself, what would it be? What qualities would that have? And of course, it would have to feature arresting visuals. It would have to have choreography, beautiful choreography. It would have to be thick with concepts. And of course, provide an example of exactly what K-pop production can achieve. And one song emerged for me. I think you know what it is. It's a fun little track featuring 5 beautiful and talented women and a 350-year-old German composer. I'm talking about Red Velvet's Feel My Rhythm. So that's my first pick. Probably comes as no surprise to you two, because we've been tossing around Red Velvet memes for a bit. But I have to say, after over 3 months of pretty steady play, this is a song that's still really delivering for me. There's this kind of majesty to the instrumentation and arrangement, but it's also really loose and whimsical. You feel like you've been drawn into another world when you're listening to it. There's this balance between order and chaos. There's a lot going on with the production and a lot going on with the vocal choices. But every time I listen to it, I feel like I'm discovering something else that's fun about what they're doing. And I'm not even getting into the visuals and concepts in the music video, because I know we've talked about that about 1 billion times on the main pod and then here on this one. But, I'll just say, it's stunning, perfect, love it. And as good as it is, it's still not in the top 10 of Red Velvet's discography. So that says to me, basically everybody should be standing Red Velvet.
Amazing number 1 pick. I think, like you said, it's no surprise considering the 3 of us are huge Red Velvet fans. I think you summarized it perfectly well. I think this encapsulates the boundaries, the boundlessness, I guess, of K-pop, kind of the way that it's able to experiment while also staying within a very K-pop feel and structure. Cora, what do you think about Red Velvet being the number 1 pick in our draft?
I mean, it's only right. It is Red Velvet after all. I will say I'm a little disappointed they didn't fall to me, but I'm not upset. I expected this, especially when I heard what was happening with this draft. But yeah, Red Velvet, they have no pressure to conform to title track standards, I think, in K-pop. And I think their music has always been better for it. And this song is a perfect example. But I do agree with Alice. This isn't even top 10 in their discography, which just shows how strong it is. So, great pick.
Yeah, no misses in their discography. One quick note from the main show. This has a Hall of Spice. Spice King, 3 crowns. So off to a good start. Red Velvet, Feel My Rhythm, the number 1 pick in the SojuTalk Nation K-pop draft. First half of the year, 2022. All right, let's move on now to me with my number 2 pick of the year between January and June. And all right, so I don't think there's going to be very much surprise here. I will say Koro has accompanied me in kind of diving deep in going into the themes and the construction and the musical ability of this very young group, this very young love group that has captured the hearts and minds and souls of K-pop. I think they definitely popped off last year with a very viral friendly choreography, catchy song, followed it up with a nice little fall comeback. Not conforming, I think is the big theme this today. And coming back with a banger, kind of still being very much youthful and having that youthful energy, but now kind of running towards the spotlight. Yes, everyone, the number 2 pick is STAYC with Run to You. This is my number 1 song of the year, just flat out, period. So I am very happy that this fell to me. And number 2, Koro, as someone who joined me on the STAYC episode to discuss the album, what do you think about STAYC being the number 2 pick?
I'm not gonna lie to you. I wrote down before you even started talking that you were going to make this pick. I was so sure of it, and even then, I still had it in my top 5 picks of the year. It's just that good a song. I can't be upset with it going this high. And STAYC, for me, it's their best song since So Bad. And I haven't listened to the one that just recently came out, so I don't know if that's still true. But I think they really delivered on this track in a way that I wasn't feeling necessarily in 2021. So great stuff here.
Perfect. Alice, any thoughts about STAYC and Run to You?
Yeah, I mean, I've got lots of thoughts. They were one of my top 4 as well. What a terrific track, and just a great run from this group. I mean, they've been high performers. You can just really see the sort of confidence that these girls have in their material, in their producers, and in their own abilities. And it just makes them a joy to listen to. And every time they come out with something new, I love it, including their latest comeback. So, I want to keep seeing them do more. I'm waiting for that full-length album.
Yeah, let's get that full-length album. This song is also in the Hall of Spice with 3 Spice King crowns. So far, some fan favorites across the SojuTalk Nation and the main show. All right, Koro, you're up next with the number 3 pick of the SojuTalk Nation K-pop draft. What is your selection?
I'm very happy that this song fell to me. I knew there could be some possible contention for it. But there's no surprise here. You're gonna save my home in the jungle, the polar, the ocean, the desert, whatever the home is. We're saving it in the city. That's where I am now, in the city. We're saving it everywhere. And of course, I'll save you guys all the gushing. You know how I feel about this group. But my first pick will have to be Dreamcatcher Maison. A little French pronunciation for you. There you go, Doug. But this song's just great. And after seeing it in concert, I couldn't not pick it. It's a grower. It's a massive grower. So there you go, Dreamcatcher Maison.
All right. So we talked before the show that I told Warren about our special edition. He told me to take this song as my number 1 pick to mess with you.
Whoa.
He told me. So, had I listened to Warren and had I not just followed my heart, had I just wanted absolute chaos, I would have selected it. But no, this is very fitting for you, but also the song is really good. I think Dreamcatcher does probably the most unique thing in K-pop right now. They definitely a rock band inspired K-pop group. They do a lot of K-pop things. Very, very attractive ladies, great choreography. Structurally, it is very much K-pop, but sonically, man, it is so much different than anything else. I gotta respect them as a group. Even though I don't listen to them as regularly as I do the other more traditional K-pop sounding musicians that we listen to, it's just whenever I go to them, as I was preparing for this draft, I was like, wow, this stands out as far as a song of the year. So shout out to you for sticking to your guns and holding it down for Dreamcatcher. Alice, what do you think about Dreamcatcher going at number 3?
Well, I have to salute you, Koro. No lies, I am wearing my concert t-shirt right now. I love Dreamcatcher. Maison has not been at the top of their discography for me, but it has been a grower. I didn't love it as much when I first heard it, and I've been liking it more ever since. And of course, hearing them perform it live just clinched it for me. So it was on my list, but I'm happy to concede it to you because I know how much you love them too.
Thank you.
This is crazy that we have such a strong Dreamcatcher contingent on the show. I never would have expected. I'm very happily surprised. Let's put it that way. This song as well has 3 crowns and is retired to the Hall of Spice. We are 3 for 3 with these top selections between the SojuTalk Nation, the main show, the crew, and how it all goes down. So I think we're doing something right, with these songs. Let's move on now to the 4th pick in the K-pop draft. Alice, what is your selection?
All right, well, I'm going to go with the Korean general public for this one. It is a track from another young monster rookie girl group, and that is IVE's Love Dive. It's another track that when I first heard it, I liked it, and it just kept getting better for me. And I think that's something that also 11 had that characteristic. I love the song's kind of ominous edge. I love that it's being delivered by this group of like bratty schoolgirls who look like they're, too expensive for me and my friends. There's something about it where it's just teetering into the edge where they're being like a little too mature, but they're kind of keeping it within their age group. And it's so catchy, narcissistic. My God, I love it. You can't fight a line like that. So really excited to draft Love Dive into my playlist.
First shocker of the draft. Wow, in round 2. I love this song. This is definitely a top 10 song for me. I would have drafted it eventually, but my God. Okay, so for all those reasons that you mentioned, and also I am a degenerate that grew up watching Gossip Girls on CW, broadcasted live every week, and this is Gossip Girl reincarnate. These members,
absolutely, exactly. That's for me. You can't resist.
Yes, it's just so infectious, right? So alluring, and you will never be friends with them. They will never take you in as a friend, but you're always pining over to be in that inner circle that they have depicted in this music video and song. Cora, what are your thoughts about IVE Love Dive going number 4?
A bit awkward here because I think I can resist it. To be honest with this song, I can resist it just a little bit. I will say this song's dance break, like the instrumental and the choreo for that part, are amazing, and I've checked out multiple of their performances, just skip to that part and bounce right after. It's just really good stuff there, but for the song itself, for most of the rest of the song, it's not really for me, so you kind of let me off here, but it is a massive song this year, so I understand why.
Yeah, no, all great points, Coro. And yeah, it is a little bit in its own genre, right? I will say, as far as Korean standards, man, this song is still going, and IVE has a comeback coming up. So I just, wow. What a banger from a rookie group. All right. My next selection, the 5th pick in the draft. Well, because you chose a girl group, I guess I got to choose a boy group now. With my 5th selection, I will take Big Bang with Still Life. Yes. This one's for you, Warren. Big Bang is back. Just a historically important group in K-pop spanning over 2 decades. All the members having so much history, so much baggage, and all of that was presented to us in a very artistic way with a myriad of interpretations in that music video. For those who grew up with Big Bang, or at least had a little bit of time with them before the military break, this song means a lot. Just the fact that they are back together. Top may not be with the company anymore, but it seems like he's ready to continue to do music. He's ready to be a weirdo out in space. And overall, I just think this song is kind of a love letter to anyone who is open to seeing that K-pop is just the entertainment industry, right? And there's goods, there's bads, but just like anyone in your family who may have been going through some troubles in their life, you still take them in, you still accept them, right? Because ultimately they're not evil people. They may have made mistakes in the past, and as long as you're able to kind of live up to those mistakes and face them, I think that's what kind of Still Life represents. And also kind of looking forward to the future. hopefully together, even though there's not a shot with the 4 members together. Hopefully we get something more with Big Bang. Probably not this year. Hopefully next year. And GD, when are you coming back, bro? Come on. I know you're busy, but come back. Koro, what are your thoughts on Still Life being the 5th pick in the draft?
This is a solid song, I think. I'll admit it didn't have the emotional weight for me personally, and of course that's just going to happen if I would since I wasn't around with them and didn't grow with them, didn't go through the trials and tribulations with them. But I get what it does for others, so I do think it deserves its place here. And also the music video is beautiful. Just all those different sets and shots were amazing. So I'm not mad at it.
Nice. Alice, any thoughts on Still Life?
Yeah, I mean, it's one of the songs that wasn't on my top list, but definitely on my honorable mention, notable mention list, because it is a real accomplishment for them that they were able to come together and reflect and make this really moving and well-written and beautifully performed song. So I've been listening to it. I'm still enjoying it. I think it's going to hold a classic place in their discography. So I'm glad that it's made the draft.
Yeah, they do have one crown this year. I think it just fell off in the sense that it's very introspective, right? And going into April, spring, the mood kind of shifted where we went away from sad boy winter into a very, very bright, happy spring. And if we get into any of those songs, we will definitely get into that. All right, Koro, with the 6th pick, what is your selection?
Oh, I get to have a little fun here with my list, actually. It was going pretty according to plan so far, but seeing as you went with the Big Bang song, I get to maybe make us a little steal here for something I maybe wouldn't have if you had taken it. And it's a recent song, relatively recent song. It's a lot of fun. And I just think this group really surprised me, and that'll have to be Kepler with Up! Exclamation point. That this song really they shocked me because they went from having one of the, in my opinion, my least favorite choruses of the year in Wadada to honestly one of my favorite choruses of the year in Up. It's just so much fun, and the energy is just up the entire time. And I didn't watch Girls Planet, so I'm still not familiar with any of the members, but Hikaru, wow, she's got it. Like that it factor people look for, she's got it. So she kept me coming back to the performances. There you go. Up with my number 2 pick.
Alice, I'm going to throw it to you because I'm a little stunned right now. What do you think about Kepler Up being selected by Koro?
Well, so Kepler has not been a big group for me yet. I also did not love Wadada, but I did watch Queendom. And you're right, Koro. Hikaru is extremely engaging. She is just so cute. It kills me. And Up is a song that I watched the music video. I think I listened to it once, and then I threw it on a playlist and kind of ignored it. But it keeps coming up on that playlist, and every time I hear it, I'm like, what is this song? I'm really liking the song. And then I look and it's Up. So it's just to say that I'm a late adopter. It takes me a while sometimes to get into a song. I have a feeling this one's going to keep growing for me. And yeah, it did definitely, it's a good trajectory for them. It's making me happy to hear them and excited to see what their next comeback is like.
All right, this is officially the first deal of the draft. This is a top song for me. This would have gone next, if not the following pick. I was surprised how much I like this song. I did follow Girls Planet, and then I watched Queendom, so I saw the entire road for this group Kepler and just everything that they've gone through. I gotta say, it's like it's very infectious. It's just a very fun summer song. I think it encapsulates kind of the fun, bubbly K-pop nature of summer. dare I say, the best out of a lot of the summer songs that have come out so far, up until this point in June. And yeah, I just really fell in love with it. Like you guys said, I echo everything with Hika-chan. It definitely shows off a lot of her talents and ability. Through Girls Planet, she was always listed as the super dancer, super rapper, can do it all. And in that first, in the debut with Wadada, didn't really get that much of it. But then throughout Queendom and then this release, it's just, she was definitely in the spotlight. So, dang it, Koro, you played it well, sir. You played it well.
Sniper.
All right. Let me hold on. I gotta scroll to the side there. So this song does not have any Soju chart wins. Am I mistaken? No, they have one. So yeah, the nation and the crew do agree in that sense as well. All right, Alice, we're back to you with the number 7th pick. What is your selection?
Well, going into this draft with you two guys, I know I have to lock down my girls early. So I'm going for another fabulous woman. This is my solo artist. And you kind of have to pick one of the queens of solo girls. And this is Taeyeon's I Envy You. Now, I might have bumped this up a little bit in my estimation because it's backed by such an incredible album overall. If you haven't listened to the whole album, go do that right away. I think You Oughta Know is an incredible, isn't that the name of it? It's an incredible B-side. There's a lot of incredible B-sides on it. Beautiful from start to finish. And you just can't deny the power of Taeyeon. I mean, she's a legendary idol. She's at the top of her game. She's taking a song about giving your all to an ungrateful lover, and she makes it seem effortless. And that's, there's that certain irony to that she doesn't look like she's breaking a sweat or working hard at all. And this is me, maybe going into the simp circle, but she is being typecast as a goddess. In the music video. It's a beautiful music video, and the whole thing is just perfection from start to finish. So again, something I just keep listening to. It's really transitioned well into being a summer track for me as well. So yeah, I'm putting in Taeyeon, I Envy You.
You are always welcome in the simp circle. Do not apologize. No, this is definitely a top track for me of the year as well. Gorgeous human being, gorgeous presentation. The song is incredibly alluring and with that very interesting message, right? Kind of pushing back against someone who may be holding you down. It definitely evokes early 2010s down-tempo house for me. Nina put it very well that this is a song that she could definitely hear in Forever 21 in 2010. So I love it very much. Some of the notes from the main show was that this is potentially a song that a male artist could have done between Taemin or Kai, but she is just an incredible performer and she just executed so freaking well. Koro, what are your thoughts on I Envy You going number 7?
Honestly, I don't have much to say about this one. I thought it was a solid track, but I haven't revisited much over the course of the year. But I echo everything you guys said about her legend as a whole, and her performance here is amazing. And like the, I don't know what it's called, like the elf kind of
Maple
arrow. Story. Yeah, it was very aesthetic in the music video, so it was good stuff.
Yeah, just incredible. Great pick. This has one Spice King crown. We're just knocking off all these songs that just are collectively accepted as very popular songs this year. So nice job, everyone. All right, my next pick with the 8th selection. It feels like I have to fight for girl group songs now. So I'm gonna go with a girl group song. I'm gonna go with Promise 9 with DM as my selection. I am in love with the song. I am in love with these girls. I definitely became more of a fan when the Disco Trilogy came through with Feel Good and We Go, and then right here with DM. Talk and Talk I did like, but it didn't fit kind of the Disco Trilogy. And then I went back into the entire discography for them this year, and I gotta say it's been one of the most amazing journeys to kind of revisit them as a group. and follow their content. So there's just something about retro music when it's done this way, where it just makes me very just happy emotionally, right? Some of the notes of the crew was that there are elements of city pop into this song, which I feel like for me makes it a little bit more accessible, a little bit something that I can listen to any time of the year, right? So, God, just this song has done something to me as far as making me stand another group. Shout out to Sedum. Yes, I did find a bias. Koro, what do you think about Promise 9 DM going 8th?
This is another good track. I actually do like this one a good amount, and some more Collapsodon crack for our ears. You know, he's very comfortable in this pocket, and Promise 9 has been like his leading group to do this with. Obviously, he did it with some other groups twice, notably as well. But I agree with you also. I'm not a big talk person. That deviation from this trend was a bit weird, but I do think this was the last song they should have done this with. Maybe I don't know if anyone picked their later song this year, so maybe we talk about that then if someone did. But I think they went a bit too far into it with the more recent one. But this is good stuff.
Alice, what are your thoughts on Promise 9 DM? I think it's our first retro addition to the draft. What are your thoughts?
Promise 9 is great. DM is great. It's they're a wonderful group. They have a very solid, very consistent catalog of music. I think they tend to put out stuff that I just enjoy listening to, and this is one of those kinds of tracks. I don't know if it's fair or not, but sometimes when I'm assessing a song, I'll do it against some of their previous work. And I was thinking of the first half of 2021 and We Go coming out, and what a game changer We Go was, and how much that song was just on constant repeat for me. So maybe DM is a little bit suffering in comparison for me. I don't think that's fair though, because I think if they didn't have We Go in their history, DM probably would have been a top draft pick for me. So I don't know. The psychology of that can be a little unusual with how you assess a song, but I enjoy it too. I listen to it a whole lot.
Yeah, no, incredible run of songs, right? Between Feel Good, We Go, and DM. So it's just, Warren mentioned this on the show back in the day, January, February, that he put those songs on a playlist and he can just loop them all the way through for hours on end. And they do sound really well together. This song is also retired into the Hall of Spice with 3 Spice King crowns. You know, we're just killing it, guys. I think we have a good sense of what the nation, what the crew really, really like this year. All right, Koro, with the 9th pick, what is your selection?
I'm not surprised this fell to me. I thought it would, and that's why I was able to make that steal in the last round. But I don't know what else I really need to say about this song. We did do a deep dive on the song and the album quite recently, actually, so go check that out if you're interested. And I'm quite interested in what Alice has to say on the song, too. But I'm going to go with Naya and Pop, ! Once again. It's a fun song. It's a good song. It's the beginning of the Twice solo run. And I think she did a great job with it. I'm just repeating all the stuff I said last time. So just go check that out. But yeah, that's my pick.
Yeah, Alice, what are your thoughts about Nyan, just in general, and the fact that it fell pretty far, I think, to Koro for that number 9th pick?
Yeah, I mean, I have to admit, Koro, I was when I was thinking about Nyan and Pop, I thought this is something that Koro is going to take, and I was okay with that. As much as I love the song, I've been listening a lot more to the B-sides on this album. I gotta say, I think that I forget the name of the track that she does with Felix from Stray Kids, but I really enjoy that one. I enjoy a lot of the songs on it. So overall, I'm always happy to see more of Nyan. I mean, she's one of my top biases in Twice, and Pop is a great song. So yeah, I mean, it's an asset to any playlist. I'll say that.
If this song is the representation of the album for this playlist, I think that's a really good spot for it, because yeah, if people give the album a try because of this song, they will not be disappointed. Their life will definitely be enriched in many ways. Shout out to the song with Felix and the song with Weinstein. Those songs are amazing. This song has 2 crowns, just short of retirement, but I think it ran up against July, which was insane. So, it hung in there, got 2 crowns, and we love it. We love it, Nyan. All right, Alice, what is your selection for the 10th pick in the draft?
All right, so I got to go to the boy groups now, and kind of torn between 2 tracks. But since I was just talking about Nyan and Felix, I think I'm going to go for the sort of obligatory boy group banger that every playlist needs, and that's Stray Kids' Maniac. Aside from hitting that sort of quota for the playlist, I think it's a well-produced track. It's very energetic. It's got quite a catchy hook. I love the use of Felix's voice in it, but also the raps are great. I think the bridge is really exciting before they go into the sort of chorus for the final time. So you really get a showcase of the sort of diverse talents of this group. And Stray Kids is always interesting to listen to because you know that they're going to bring a lot of energy and a lot of sort of diversity into their songs, while at the same time maintaining a pretty consistent love of what people might criticize as being noise music. But sometimes we need noise.
Cora, what are your thoughts on this very hype track, this very hype group, Stray Kids, going 10th to Alice?
Yeah, Stray Kids are hype. That is their brand, I dare I say. But I like this song. It was in my short list of boy group songs. It wasn't top 2, so I got a bit lucky here. But I do think this is a great song. The deep voice chorus part is very catchy. I'm with Doug and Warren. I tried this multiple times throughout the day, just randomly going about my day, just seeing how low can I really go. And also the Stray Kids music video team just continues to be the standard, honestly. They just do some amazing things. They have this one like upside down reverse like shot. I don't even know how to describe it, but it's just great. And they continue to do good stuff.
The production between song, music video, and presentation is top tier for sure. I saw Stray Kids recently in concert, and not gonna say I'm a stay, but I knew enough of the songs where I felt very much a participant in the concert, and Maniac was popping, so I have a new affinity for this song for sure. Felix, your deep voice, I'm not gonna do it, but when he says Maniac, it always just rings in my head at least once or twice throughout a week. So yeah, great selection, Alice. Is that me? I guess it's me. All right. My next pick. All right. I'm going to need like 10 seconds, guys. All right. So I'm going to go with the music video that is very intentionally funny, or perhaps a little bit of truth behind kind of the story of the music video. A very simple music video on a soundstage. Kind of an OG of K-pop, dancing, b-boying, but then also starts to cry because he got stood up. The one and only Jay Park with Ganadara and IU. That is my pick. I love this song. I love this style of R&B. Very chill, cool R&B. There's a lot of fun and playfulness to it. The song itself with the lyrics is a lot of push and pull with someone you're in a relationship with. But then the music video itself has IU and Jay Park with this very miscommunication type thing where they are literally shooting the music video. He wants to get his friend IU in the music video because they recorded the song, but she's very busy. And it's starting to slowly look like she has stood him up, where they're getting props to replace her. They're trying to do a CGI IU. They got a mannequin IU. And then he goes to the dressing room, starts to cry, and is about to delete her number. Who would do that, by the way? And then gets the call, says that she's here, and she is gorgeous and beautiful. Great song, super fun song. My genre of music. I just absolutely love this. Cora, what are your thoughts on Ganadara by Jay Park featuring IU going 11th?
This was in my, well, still is. I don't know why I said was. This is in my top 10 songs so far of the year. So I'm a bit, it's a bit unfortunate it wasn't able to fall to me, but obviously I did see this coming. It has a certain female artist featured on the song that I think Crispy has a slight affinity for. I don't know, maybe I heard that somewhere before. But the song is just straight vibes, and it has enough bounce to keep me interested. It's like it's in my wheelhouse of R&B that I like as well. And the music video was a very cheeky concept. It was just fun to watch and fun to rewatch even, which I don't do much honestly. And the blend of their voices was pretty harmonious. I didn't expect it. I'm not really big. I haven't listened to much of Jay Park, but it's good stuff. And it also spawned good covers on IU's palette with the Yacht and Strawberry Moon covers from each of them respectively. So overall, great product.
Alice, any thoughts on Jay Park and IU going 11th?
Yeah, I mean, I love the song. The music video is really fun. And of course, we know that Jay Park is flexing throughout this entire video because it's about IU standing him up, sort of. But he has her number. So, yeah, I mean, it's kind of a flex from him. It's fun. It's playful. It's a great vocal collaboration. And I've never been as charmed by Jay Park as I was in this particular music video. I'm always charmed by IU.
Always charmed by IU is a statement that is true in whatever universe you live in. This has one Spice King crown. I just imagine that I think it's a little too chill to kind of get that 3 crown retirement that a lot of songs get to. But I just think overall quality, one of the more fun, excellent songs, collaborations of the year for sure. All right, Koro, with the number 12 pick, what is your selection?
Okay, we're entering some tricky territory here because I feel like I should maybe get a boy group out of the way just in case. I know Alice might come storming through with all the boy groups in a second, but this is a song I just feel like I need to pick. I can't let it fall to anyone else because we talked about this in our year-end recap show, the awards after show. I mentioned it then when it had just released, and it still holds up to this day. That is Bam Bam featuring Seulgi, Who Are You? And this is still one of my favorite songs of the year. That back then I predicted it would hold up until the end of the year, and so far halfway through, it still does. Bam Bam here, he entered the challenge for my favorite GOT7 soloist with this song. Hopefully I can pick. Well, let me not say anything. But the music video and song are just pure art. It's a proper duet, which we don't get too often in K-pop, and amazing choreography that's showcased in the music video. So just overall, it's a unbelievable showcase of Bam Bam's ability as a soloist.
Alice, what are your thoughts on another collaboration track between a male soloist and a female soloist? I think we call Seulgi the female soloist at this point. What are your thoughts on Who Are You? And this being a very an artistic expression, an art form, an art piece of a song.
Oh, I mean, I agree with Koro that Bam Bam's solo career has been a really intriguing surprise, and he keeps going up in the stocks for me as a solo artist. And Seulgi enhances everything she touches. I mean, just this morning I was listening to Taemin and Seulgi Heart Stop, and her vocals are just they're just always welcome. So I do love it. The choreography is so incredible. I think the weird thing is they made a performance video of this, but Seulgi's not in it, even though she's in the actual music video. So I don't know exactly what went on with that. I would love to see a choreography video with Bam Bam and Seulgi, with all respect to the dancer who appears with Bam Bam in the performance video. But beautiful song. And again, one that's like, it's a year-round song. I know it came out in the winter, but it's working well for those summer nights.
There's just something haunting about this song that just sticks in my mind, paired with the fact that Bam Bam is just an incredible performer, And then the fact that Sulky is my favorite member from Red Velvet. So I am feeling a kind of way. She displays so much of just her artistic ability between her singing, which is definitely a 1A type of situation, 1A, 1B situation in this song. And then just her dancing ability. Historically known as an amazing dancer, doing a number of different collaboration stages, different special stages. But this being very modern art, very much in concert with someone else to tell the story of the song, absolutely beautiful. I too would love to see a live stage or some type of performance stage with just the two of them. Maybe we get that at the end of the year, because GOT7 really popular this year. I think they have definitely turned the corner and just have shown that they can do it on their own. And the fact that they are collaborating with a lot of their friends now, which is pretty cool. Shout out to Sogi. Please, Sogi, to be an honorary member of GOT7, that would be incredible. All right. Moving on now to you, Alice, with number 13th pick. What is your choice?
All right. Well, keeping it with the boy groups for a bit, I'm going to go to another boy group that I've been enjoying, and that is Pentagon with their song Feelin' Like. I have to say, I think it was Doug maybe who mentioned this in the main pod, and he was talking about how Pentagon is one of those groups that just doesn't quite get the recognition they deserve based on the quality of their releases. And I totally agree with that. I think their discography is diverse, but it's also consistently good. Really excellent writing and production and performance. I got to see them once in concert, and they are a joy to see live. And Feelin' Like is kind of a sneaky, seductive track. I think Doug said it was sexy. I think he's right. It proves the group is just blessed with talent, because Hui is enlisted right now, and I know he does a lot of their writing. I know Don did a lot of their writing when he was with them. And but they're keeping going, and I'm just hoping that they make it through enlistments and come back and keep making more music, because every time they come out with something, I think, I need to be listening to Pentagon a whole lot more than I do. So I want to give them this recognition and draft them into my playlist.
Cora, what are your thoughts on Pentagon going 13th?
This song wasn't on my radar for a pick necessarily, but I do think it's a solid song. Honestly, my favorite part of the song would have to be, well, not even the song, the whole, there's a word I keep looking for, I keep forgetting. But either way, the whole product is the choreography for the chorus. It's actually very catchy. They do like a kind of a little skip. I can't really describe it, but they look around the room. It's just fun, I think, and it fits with the song. The chorus is a bit too empty for me, but I do think the main melody chop thing is pretty catchy. So I think it's a good pick. Very, very fitting song for that time of the year in January. Very kind of moody in a lot of ways. This is the music video with the pool table, correct?
Yeah, that's right. That's right. They're looking pretty expensive. There's some pool. There's some sexy lyrics. There's some great dancing, as Cora notes.
Yeah, it very much evokes that vibe of cool and sexy, kind of like post a fashion show, like in the winter nights. I don't know. I'm just getting all these very city aesthetic feelings with this song and music video. But yeah, great selection on your part. Let's see. Is that me? I guess that's me. With my pick, with the 14th pick. All right, let's see. I need 10 seconds. I think I got this. So now I'm kind of torn, right? Because I feel like we're jumping back and forth between boy groups and girl groups. Do I pick with my heart, or do I pick with logic? And I think to continue on with kind of the pressure of finding the boy group song, I'm going to pick a boy group song. I'm going with Icon and But You. This is something about retro music that just always sparks some kind of joy kind of in me, whether it's something from last year kind of mixed in, blended with this year, whether it's a group that hasn't done it before. And with iKON specifically, they came off of Kingdom doing their iKON YG thing, a lot of very hip hop centric performances. I'm glad to get like kind of a brighter song from them. Bobby's raps was incredible in this song, just very cool, very clean, very much fitting still in the retro theme of it all. And I love the music video kind of being in the smoky club, kind of the basement. If you've ever lived it, and it just feels a little too real. But overall, the song is kind of incredible. This song was on repeat for me a lot at the very beginning of summer. So definitely just something that will always stick. And I always try to make a retro playlist every year. This song was near the top and I just kept going back to it. So iKON But You is my pick. Let's go to Alice. Alice, what are your thoughts on iKON's But You?
Well, you kind of took it from me, so I'm going to try not to be bitter because I was trying to decide whether to pick iKON or Pentagon for my pick. It is a great song. It's just satisfying synth pop. It's really well made. It's one of those tracks where you hear it for the first time and it feels like something you've heard before, but not in a way that's like derivative or boring or anything like that. It just like sneaks its way into your consciousness. And yeah, I agree on Bobby's rap. I think that it's great to see iKON continuing to make music because I always worry about some of those YG boy groups and girl groups, and I want to see them continue to make music. So to have them make this and have it be so good is really satisfying. So yeah, loved it.
Cora, what are your thoughts on iKON doing a retro song? A lot brighter than their past stuff, and the fact that it went 14th on our draft. Any thoughts on iKON?
iKON But You. Okay, this song, it also wouldn't have been one of my picks necessarily. I am glad they went for the retro trend that has been happening, maybe on the latter end. It actually seems to still be going, so maybe not. But I do think the chorus melody is super strong, and like that "I need you, baby" line is very catchy, and I still remember that to this day from that song. So I think that's a solid pick.
Now that you mention it, I think that's the reason why I love it, because that chorus it's very simple but very memorable, right? It's very fun and bright. It does lead us into summertime perfectly well, but kind of in the YG iKON style, where it's a little bit dark, it's a little edgy, not actually edgy, but it has its own personality relative to the other retro songs that have come out, right? So no, it's a song that has definitely stuck with me all year, and I'm very happy to have picked it and stolen it from Alice. All right, Coro, with the number 15th pick, what is your selection?
Okay, maybe it's as a plane goes overhead. Maybe it's about time I select a boy group. I've been pretty lucky here to not have my number one boy group song of the year be taken so far, but for me, it's going to have to be, maybe surprisingly, very, very Undercover. This song caught me completely off guard because I hadn't really checked out anything very, very related beforehand. But the whole song is pretty damn good. But the final third of this song is one of my favorite stretches of the year. It just like takes a song that's already good and makes it way more interesting and makes it great, honestly, considering the overall makeup of this year. So I think check this song out, and if you haven't already, 'cause I know that not the biggest group, but this song it just builds up in a really good way, and I think more songs should do this. So there you go, very, very Undercover.
Alice, what are your thoughts on Very, Very Undercover being the first boy group selection for Coro?
It's a really intriguing pick. I think I've listened to it a couple of times, but I haven't paid a lot of attention to it. So I probably need to go back and listen to it some more. I've kind of casually checked in on Very, Very ever since, what was their Hide and Seek? Was that their first track or their first? It was one of the first ones that I remember. And Yeah, I mean, I think they're really talented. They're good singers, so I'm gonna have to check it out.
Yeah, this one was very surprising to me as well. This is a little bit of a departure from their sound that they're known for. They're a little bit of a brighter boy group, so does have a little bit of an edge. And the crew definitely liked it. They did vote it with one Spice King crown this year. Cora, that one very much a surprise. Just you got all the chaos on your side of things, Coro. It's good to have you, sir. All right, Alice with the number 16th pick. What is your selection?
Okay, so here's where chaotic Coro kind of threw me into a loop because I'm now kind of torn for where I go next. I think I'm gonna go with a very recent song by a female soloist, probably the most recent song on my playlist. And it is the iconic Sunmi coming back with Heartburn. I'm going to say that probably, I'm still not 100% sure on this because it's a recent song and sometimes it takes a while for a song to really manifest to me fully. And maybe if it were a release from a different soloist, I wouldn't be drafting it. But it's Sunmi, and her charisma and her voice take this fairly basic, languid summer night song and make it into a standout. And shout out to everybody right now who's going through this crazy heat wave. It's definitely adding to my appreciation of this song. I'm really identifying with all those unfortunate men who are dropping like flies in her music video because, it's hot out. So hope everyone's staying hydrated and being careful around Sunmi.
Is it hot out or is it just her? Probably. Cora, what are your thoughts on Sunmi going 16th to Alice?
This is a really good song. I think I still put it on my chart in the most recent week, if I'm not mistaken. But either way, it's lasted for me at least. I think it's only been out maybe not even a month yet. But I think honestly, my favorite part about this release is JYP doing like the TikTok challenge covering the choreo for this is actually perfect for me after their When We Disco collaboration a few years back. But yeah, I think the music video is fun. The song's chill, but still kind of like puts you in a bit of a trance. So I like this pick, honestly.
She has a quality to her voice that's just very characteristically Sunmi. I don't know how else to put it. If you know her music, there's kind of, it's not airy because she sings it a lot lower than just a typical like airy singer would sing it, but she does just have this character to her voice where I feel like with this song it just works really well. Shout out to all the TikTok challenges. Everyone released music this month, so everyone is crossing over into other people's content, and it's just really fun to see people doing funny things to a song that's probably a little bit more serious than the TikToks would suggest, but just really cool to have this song kind of be a switch up to kind of the tone of summertime, right? All right, with my next selection, all right, I got the song. Perfect. I'm going to take another soloist, solo debut, but definitely a veteran in the game, has been around for some time, paired up with one of my favorite people in Korean music. I don't think she's specifically a K-pop person. I would say K-R&B, K-hip-hop. Very nice contrast. Very interesting friendship. They did become friends because of the reality show that they did last year. I forget what it's called, but they're in school. Very fun relationship, very fun people. Yes, it's the superhero Yena with Smiley featuring BB. I love this song. My joke is that I like IZ*ONE now. Yeah, because of all of the different solos and all the different projects from the groups that have come out of IZ*ONE. Yena is probably one of my favorite brand new soloists of this year. It's a very fun pop rock song. Very much captures her character as just being this bubbly, high energy, kind of a little chaotic, but in a certain direction, kind of person that she is. And I've definitely followed a lot of her content throughout the year. Really cool that she's on Idol Radio. I believe it's Idol Radio. I apologize if that's wrong. Interviewing essentially her friends. And we get to see her on the microphone regularly. So yeah, just a big surprise. I bought the Yena album. I don't buy albums, so it just really left an imprint on me this year. Koro, what are your thoughts on Yena featuring BB for Smiley going pick number 17?
This I didn't, when you were doing the lead up, I didn't realize what song it was until maybe about 10 seconds before you actually said it, and I actually screamed out no with my mic muted. This is a top 10 song of the year so far for me. I never said it before, but I'm with you. I like Eyes One Now. At least for the most part, I like Eyes One Now. The group stuff is what it is, but I think a lot of their post Eyes One stuff has been interesting, and this is definitely my favorite post Eyes One debut and probably release period. And Yena and BB's contrast makes the song really fun and really interesting, and the music video is also fun as well. And I'm excited to see what she comes out with soon.
Yeah, Yena around the corner. Alice, what are your thoughts on this steal? Is what it sounds like of Yena featuring BB with Smiley.
Well, I'm loving the conflict. I will say it's not a track that was on my list. I also, like you, Crispy, have come to an appreciation of Eyes One more through their solo content or the groups that have come out of it. But I would say that there's probably another solo debut that's come out of it that I like a little bit more. But that might be on my list somewhere. But maybe I just need to spend some more time with this. I definitely love BB, so and I like the concept of the music video. I enjoyed it. But I haven't really listened to the song apart from the music video, and that's when I know if something's really, landing with me. That being said, you're convincing me to add it to my playlist for a month or so.
Give it a try. And also give Luck to You a try. A B-side that is also in the vein of the pop punk style, a little bit edgier, a little bit more emotional on that one. But yeah, Yena, I think for me, it's all about like the explosive personality that she projects in her music. And I'm super excited for the comeback. So yeah. All right, Koro, I know I stole the song from you. What is your selection for number 18 for the draft?
Fortunately, I did have a couple more songs ahead of the Yena song, so I'm glad this song did fall to me. Although I'm not too worried about it. I don't know if it would have gotten chosen otherwise. I don't know how people feel about this, given the group as a general, in general. But I'm going to go with aespa, Illusion. Now, this might be slightly surprising. I mean, I've said multiple times I like the song in the Discord, but I'm not. Their discography as a whole has been very hot and cold for me. Like, each song has something in it. Maybe not Savage, but each song, all the other songs have something in it where I just can't listen to it. Just certain sections where I can't listen to it, and certain sections where I'm like, they could be the best group out with these if they just stuck to this kind of thing. But Illusion as a whole is, I think maybe this is what I want from aespa. I don't know. Maybe I want a little more vocals because I know Ning Ning and Winter have it in the bag. But they had the vocal in the second and third choruses of the song. They have the vocal touches over the kind of rap lines that really bring the song to the next level and helps it build. And the choreography for the song, there wasn't a proper video, but they had a performance video on the new SM channel that they put out. And the choreography, they're just walking. It's the most powerful walking you'll ever see with it coming forward, and this is good stuff. And I like it better than the title track that came out recently. So aespa Illusion is my next pick.
Alice, what are your thoughts on aespa making it onto our draft with Illusion? Not a proper music video release, but the song came out, and Warren loved it. It kind of incredible. I think this is very much in Warren's lane of the type of music he likes, but the fact that aespa is trying all these different genres and this is the one that landed with Warren. What are your thoughts on Illusion?
Yeah, I mean, it's a song that hasn't yet had a chance to grow on me, and aespa takes a long time to grow on me. I did come around to Savage eventually. It took a while. I don't know if it was on the podcast or maybe it was even one of my friends said this, that in every aespa track, there's or at least big title track, there's one amazing song and one kind of terrible song and maybe a few other songs in there too. But Illusion, I think that anytime you're getting more vocals from aespa, I tend to enjoy it more than the rap part of their music. And yeah, I think I just need to spend more time with this one.
The vocals are very clean on this song. I think that's what surprised me the most. And it did a really nice job balancing between kind of being a hip hop song, but not really being a full hip hop song, right? There's something about aespa's spirit that's retained in the song that they're doing. I don't know. They're experimenting with the song without doing the crazy experimentation of other aespa songs, if that makes sense. Something like Next Level, where it is 3 songs, right? This is not it. This is very singularly one song, one track, and I do love this song. This is in my top 20 of the year. So, good pick, Koro. Great pick. One Spice King Crown. Yeah, I'm losing my track on the spreadsheet. Sorry, guys. All right, Alice, it is up to you with the pick. Next pick number 19. What is your selection?
All right, so this song I can say with confidence belongs on my list because I've been going back and looking at what I've been listening to the most and thinking about what my Spotify Wrapped is going to look like at the end of this year. And this track is going to be on it a lot. It's, a real sundae from a group that has a lot of history behind it. A solo track from somebody whose vocals are incredible, a little unexpected, but very much in the spirit of his group's DNA. And I'm thinking about SHINee's Own You coming with Dice. And by your reaction, I'm guessing that it's a song that also you enjoy. But I could say a lot about this song. It's a little weightless. It's very airy. It's a song that's transitioned really well into the summertime. I could understand that some people would want more substance, more heft, more hooks from it in a way. But it's just a perfect little track for me. It's kind of celebrating the power of leaving things to chance and seeing where fate takes you. The live stages are so cute. And yeah, I'm coming at this as a shawol. I'll admit there's a little bit of bias here, but the reason I like SHINee is the same reason I like this track. It's got this whimsical concept. It has great vocals. It's really fun. As an aside, I just want to give a quick promo to the mini album and especially Sunshine. I suggest playing it back to back with Twice as alcohol free. And then you've got a pina colada double header. It is a guaranteed cure for, anything that's bringing you down. So definitely excited to have Dice on my list. The only reason I didn't say it earlier is I didn't think it was going to be snatched up super quickly.
It would have eventually got drafted. I'll put it that way. One of my surprise favorite songs of the year. Really fun music video. Kind of interesting music video. Some elements of Squid Games, but I feel like a lot of music videos did that this year. Going into the office, and I think it's an office or a hotel, and just it's a hotel, and just really questioning what the heck is happening. I compare this song with his label mate from earlier in the month, Suho, with Hurdle. Similar in they're both kind of retro-ish songs, but there is something about the airiness of Dice that works really well with what we know of Onu and SHINee, and it fits really well with the retro playlist that I make every year. It fit a little bit better than Hurdle, so I very much adored the song as well. Koro, what are your thoughts on Onu Dice going 19?
I think honestly, I didn't spend too much time with this song this year. I thought it was good when it came out, and I thought it was good when I went back to it, but it didn't stick with me personally, so it would not have gotten chosen. I do think this is good stuff here from Onu. And I'm interested to check out the B-side you mentioned, I think Sunshine, because I'm a certified alcohol-free lover. So I will be checking out these songs in a rotation. Um, yeah, I don't think there's anything wrong with picking someone you're biased towards, because the bias is based in something. So good pick here.
Great pick. Great pick. All right. My next selection for the number 20th pick. Didn't think it was going well. Actually, I don't know how else to put this because I think I am the outlier here, but it was very popular amongst the circles that I was very active on the server. It has a member of Girls Planet 99 who was added to the group, who was one of my favorite contestants. It has a lot of personality, but then has now introduced me to the rest of the group and the fact that there are a myriad of very quirky, very relatable type of people in this group. They have one too many letters in their name, but we're just gonna roll with it. Billy with Ginga Minga Yo. Pick number 20 for me. I think that they are a spiritual successor to early Red Velvet, where they are trying to go in that horrorcore weirdness of K-pop, the quirkiness. Ring X Ring definitely was that. This one's a little bit more general audience friendly, more typical of a pop song, K-pop song. But I think there's a quirkiness to the way that the song is played for them. Warren did kind of joke that this is a little bit of an amateur 2010s EDM track. Afrojack, if you remember his early stuff, definitely sounds like this. But to me, it works because I think it's intentional with the fact that it is just a weird track. And it was able to highlight a lot of the members' qualities, specifically Suki or Chuki getting the fan cam that exploded across the internet with like 3,000 expressions in like 30 seconds. Shout out to her. That was impressive. And then Sua with the very, very strong rap to kind of bring me into the rest of the group. So yeah, Sean, Suyeon, favorite member, but I have grown an affinity for this group throughout the year. Cora, what are your thoughts on Ginga Minga Yo?
I'll be honest. I don't get the Billy thing. Maybe not yet. But I'm glad that's there. I think every group, especially these smaller groups coming up, need to have this dedicated fandom for whatever reason it might be. So I'm glad to see that contingent on the server. But this song, actually, I think I prefer Ring to this. But I thought it had some catchy elements. The main Ginga Minga Yo melody is really catchy. I think that's definitely what they were hinging the song on, and I will always remember how much that fan cam was talked about in the Queen's channel. So at least it has a lasting legacy for that.
Yeah, it's just one of those moments in K-pop that will just stick for 2022. Alice, what are your thoughts on Ginga Minga Yo? And did you happen to catch Suki's fan cam, her amazing fan cam that she killed on the internet?
I may have watched it 1 or 10 times. It's possible. Ring X Ring didn't catch my attention as much as Ginga Minga Yo did. There's something about there's just the right touch of weirdness. There's this sense of astonishment and wonder in the world that I think we all share to different degrees and different levels of positivity. And it's a song that I've been keeping on my playlist. I would say minimally. I don't want to overdo it with the song. It's there's kind of there is something about it where I think maybe it's a little it's very stylistic for me. So I have to be in the right mood to hear it. But it's very enjoyable. I listen to it and I listen to it pretty often. So yeah, it's good.
Yeah, I will say with Billy, the 2 songs out of the gate, very different songs, polarizing. I think both songs have different audiences, which is kind of cool because then you can kind of say they hit a lot of different taste in music, right? Ginga Minga Yo being a little bit more public friendly, and Ring X definitely being the experimental wild child of the 2 songs. But I feel like they're going in a great direction of just trying different things, being distinct from a lot of other K-pop girl groups right now. So shout out to Billy. Shout out to all my favorite members. All great content as well. All right, Cora, what is your pick for number 21?
So there's only one track remaining in my true top 10. Obviously, I haven't been able to pick all of them, but in my true top 10, there's one song left, and it's not a boy group track, which is a bit dangerous because we're getting toward the end and I need another. But I can't let the legends on this song, multiple, that fall any further. And that will have to be Psy, featuring and produced by Suga. That. This is just a momentous collaboration for the industry as a whole. I think, obviously, maybe the two biggest selling points of K-pop ever inside, at least to the outside of Korea, inside and BTS. And this song is just a lot of fun. Like it's still in my rotation. It's just an anthem that I can go to at any point in time. The gun choreo and the chorus is so much fun to do. Suga's verse it just plays the song well. The music video is just a movie, honestly, and seeing Suga have that much fun on a track, because obviously Psy, she's just charismatic. Charisma is his middle name, but seeing Suga on a song like this kind of energy isn't really what you might expect from him, at least me personally. So I really enjoyed it, and I think the song, I know it wasn't Warren's favorite given his expectations for a Psy comeback, but I enjoyed it a lot.
That's a pick right there, man. You're right. That did slide a little further than expected as far as like looking at the list now. Alice, what are your thoughts on Psy and Suga coming in at number 21 for Koro of all people?
I'm a little surprised, and I was surprised by the song too. I didn't have Suga being a Psy girl on my 2022 bingo card, but I was happy to see it. I recall that Warren was a little more lukewarm on the song. But I remembered that he was saying that, that Suga, when he came in, was really breaking up the flow and bringing some air into the song. And I agree. I think the flow between them worked really well. The music video is so fun. I listen to this song all the time. It's on my running playlists, which means I'm listening to it. Well, not as much in the past few weeks. Let's be honest. It's been hot out, but, it's a great song. It's a little bit trolly. It's got that great sort of Psy MSG in it. I enjoy it a lot.
Psy MSG, the cheese, the absolute absurdity of everything that Psy does with his music videos, with the people he brings on, right? I too am very surprised and amazed and happy that Suga is now a Psy girl. We'll see where he ranks up in the history of Psy girls, but I think his inclusion in the song and the fact that he is very much like it's him and Psy, to kind of break up the tempo, break up the pace of everything, just a really, really fun way to do it. I think it's the best way to put that. The fact that, like you said, Koro, two of the most Western popular performers in K-pop between Psy and BTS. I hope this is just a sign of things to come, that more Western accessibility to fun stuff like this happens from Korea. I didn't follow too much if this did catch on here in the US, but my parents knew that this song existed, knew that Psy was back. So that tells you everything. And then in addition, they said, oh, and also Psy did a song with Suzy, did he not? And it's like, oh, so you know things that without me telling you. Okay, perfect. So I think if that's any indicator of the impact of both of these performers on music, on culture, on Western culture, then I think we're in a good spot here. All right, Alice, what is your selection for number 22?
All right, so I got the obligatory boy group banger when I drafted in Maniac by Stray Kids. So I'm going to get in now the boy group Bubblegum track for my playlist. And it is by Astro, Candy Sugar Pop. You may know it. It's just a really great, satisfying bubblegum boy group track, as it keeps going up for me this summer. It's got such a great, strong, hooky chorus. And when they go into it, it's just very exuberant. It's really big. And it's exciting to listen to. It's optimistic. It's just really fun. And I think it's a space that Astra is really comfortable in. I'm glad to see them back in it because I know they haven't always been doing this kind of concept, but it's a welcome concept in boy groups and welcome on my playlist anytime.
What are your thoughts on this very cavity-inducing music video of Astra Candy Sugar Pop?
I do think this is once again, obviously, boy groups aren't necessarily my forte, but I think I've been pretty balanced. But I think this is a good song, and I agree. I like when I can get something refreshing from a boy group. I think the dark, gritty, like going hard, where beasts kind of stuff is fun too. But after a while, I feel like okay, everyone's doing it. So something like this is always nice to refresh the palate. So I like this pick.
Yeah, this one surprised me and how much I liked the music video and the concept, right? The fact that it's titled Candy Sugar Pop and then there's cotton candy, there's candy all over the place, the pastels, the purples and pinks, very bright, painfully bright. But that is what happens when you are on a sugar high. So shout out to them for really capturing that. Alice, just overall great choice. Yeah, boy groups. I actually gave this one a try. So shout out to you, Astro, for giving me some interest and curiosity into like the concept and everything. All right, my pick for number 23. We're going down now my top songs of the year. So here we go. VVZ with Bop Bop. The rebranding, the return of G-Friend with Umji, Sinvi, and Unha. I love this trio. I followed them through Queendom. It feels like the general audience, or at least the people who watch the show, now have a really good sense of who they are, where they are in their lives, their careers, the fact that they're a little bit more mature, and that they've kind of done it all with G-Friend, right? And now it's at the point of music where they kind of want to do things for themselves. And I think Bop Bop was a great reintroduction to them. Funny story, I didn't know VVZ was G-Friend until I saw the music video. I was like, hey, I know those three. Why are they here now? And the song, at first, I thought was just going to be a generic retro song by a brand new group that no one has ever heard of before. A new group, right? I come to realize, like, oh no, these are performers. These are three ladies who have done this for essentially a decade. And they've done it to a degree of success that very few K-pop girl groups have achieved in the late 2010s. So overall, just beautiful music video, very fun music video. Got some space, got some science, and a retro-ish type of song. Again, another song on my retro playlist for the year. Cora, what are your thoughts on VVZ with Bop Bop?
Bop Bop. As someone who wasn't big into G-Friend personally, I like the song. I like the revamp here from these three. The verses weren't my favorite necessarily, but the chorus is really strong, I think. And they say to feel the music, and I definitely do when that chorus hits. So I like this pick. I'm not surprised that it came in this overall draft. Maybe a little surprised it felt so low, but I think it's some good stuff.
Alice, any thoughts on these three lovely ladies coming back, kind of reintroducing themselves outside of G-Friend? And also, what did you think about them on Queendom too?
Yeah, I mean, I have a lot of thoughts about this song. I definitely expected somebody to draft it sooner. I've been on a real roller coaster with Bop Bop, and probably if we'd been doing this draft, 4 weeks ago, it would have been a pick for me. But, it just kept going up and down in my estimation. So when it first came out, I'll admit, as somebody who adored G-Friend, I was mad at it for not being a G-Friend song. I wanted that signature sound, and I don't know if, obviously they need to move on from that. So I came to terms with Bop Bop and started listening to it, and Spotify kept serving it up to me, and I kept, enjoying it. And then Spotify just kept serving it up to me, and every time a playlist ended, they would play up Bop Bop. And there was a point in late June where I thought, I don't think I can listen to this song for a while. I need to take a break from Bop Bop. I guarantee it's going to be at the top 10 of my Spotify Wrap this year, even if I never listen to it a single time again in the next 6 months. It's so catchy. It's an earworm. It's very hooky, and yeah. So so I've been on a journey with it, but I really wish the best for VVZ. You know how much I fell in love with them on Queendom. Generally when I stan a group, and I do this more with girl groups, admittedly, I'll be like super into their music, but I won't really pay so much attention to like the different individuals involved in making the music or their personalities. And it was, that's the three women in VVZ are pretty charismatic. And so yeah, it's been quite a ride with them.
Yeah, I think the fact that it's just 3 members and the fact that they were on a show, Queendom, where it was all about showcasing their personality, really served them well as far as reintroducing to the general audience, the general public, reintroduction from a 1.5-year break from the end of G-Friend, I think. I might have that wrong, but a long break from the last time that they were promoting. So I think all the character in the world, all the personality was definitely showcased, highlighted, and they're just so much fun to follow. If you're addicted to TikTok content like I am, they're all over TikTok right now. Because everyone and their mom came back, they are also very good friends with everyone and their mom, so they are doing a lot of crossover TikToks as well. Yeah, just a really fun group. I'm really excited for them to continue on. Love Aid might also be in the top song for me for the year. So here we are. I freaking love this group. All right, Koro, with the 24th pick in the draft, what is your selection?
Now with my my true top 10 gone, I get to have a little bit of fun here with some songs that made up my about 11 to 30. Actually, I still need a boy group, so this is a bit risky to not select one here. But I have faith my next boy group song will fall to me. So I'm gonna pick Yugyeom, formerly of GOT7, actually still with GOT7, I should say, who's my number one GOT7 soloist, who released Take You Down this year. Yeah, as I said, he's so far out of the post GOT7 stuff, he's had my favorite releases. Bama's coming, but Yugyeom's still number one for me. And this song, but to be honest, this song completely slipped under my radar until preparing for this episode. I did not even realize this came out. I went back to it, and it's stuff that I like. Let's just put it that way. It's stuff that I generally have an affinity for. And I just think he does well, because I know him mostly for his dancing, but he does well here. Holds his own as a vocalist. He's great. And there's also a great feature from Kugi, I believe his name is. I'm not familiar with him, but I thought he did a good job to keep the pace of the song really going well. So there we go. Yugyeom, Take You Down.
Very moody song. God, I love this pick. Alice, what are your thoughts on Yugyeom going 24th to Koro?
Yeah, I mean, it's a moody, sexy song. So you're definitely adding a certain kind of flavor to your playlist. I enjoy this song. Don't have a whole lot to say about it other than that.
For a song like this, it was not covered on the main show. I like that it just exists in K-pop, that it's just a different flavor of K-pop. In a lot of ways, it's K-R&B and K-hip-hop, kind of in that different realm of Korean music. But it's K-pop adjacent, right? Because Yugyeom is known for GOT7, his history as a K-pop idol in a group from JYP. So I think there's a lot of room for crossover for people to kind of explore and discover his new music. And yeah, if you like this genre of music, he's really good at it. He's like really good at it. All right, Alice, with the 25th pick in the draft, what is your selection?
All right, now we're getting to some pressure because I've got a few options, and we're sort of getting into some. It's like picking among your children. But at the end of last year, a few of us on the server were talking about predictions for 2022, And I'm not the only one who said this, but I was sure that we get a lot more rock infused into K-pop this year. And we have been. And so I'm picking a solo song with a crunchy guitar, really fun track for me. And it's by Wonho, Crazy. It is such a good song. You know, Wonho's been really straddling a lot of different styles in his solo career. He's been pretty good with all of them. So this is a good addition for it, and I've been listening to it a lot in the past 6 weeks or so. So yeah, Wonho.
Alice coming off the top rope with another track that kind of went under the radar. I'm stunned. Good song, good pick. I'm frantically writing it down as well, guys. It is Wonho's side that I just was very happy to see, because I think we've historically gotten the smooth, sexy shirt windows of Wonho, and the fact that we got a little bit of a different song here, it shows his range. So I'm glad he was able to stretch. Koro, what do you think about Wonho and his muscles?
Oh, good thing you led me up that way, because I was just gonna say muscles. I mean, that's really when I think Wano, I think muscles. That's really the situation when it comes to especially our Discord. But he went for a lane. This isn't even about the song, but he went for a lane. I think isn't really filled in K-pop in terms of his build, and it's serving him well in his music videos for sure, including this one. So I think this song also went under the radar for me, but it's sneaky good. So I like this pick.
Yeah, I like that we're picking some things that are off the main show chart right now. It's a good direction. All right, with the number 26 pick. Oh man, I'm in a spot. I'm doing this for Warren. I'm doing this for you, buddy. Rocket Punch with Chiquita Banana with my pick at number 26. Again, retro music has just it's been a 3-year trend, and it does feel like we're coming to a point where there's a lot of it, but some of the really good ones feel like there's a little bit of polish to them relative to maybe a year and a half ago. I will say there are still some misses. I'm not going to call out specifically those songs, but I did have some expectations on some of the retro inspired songs this year that didn't work out too well early in the year when I revisited them. But this one, Chiquita Banana, man, so much fun. This is Rocket Punch kind of doubling down into retro. Warren's concern is that perhaps they may be the group that is only doing retro. As long as there's iterations on it, as long as it's a little bit different, and it's super catchy, it's high energy, and it kind of captures them as a group, I feel like it's okay. Because they could have easily just fallen into being the summer girl group, right? Doing summer bubblegum, where this song kind of works year round. It can be played in the summertime. To me, it's got a very Miami Vice type sound, which again is a little bit different from other retro songs. But it came out earlier in the year, so I do think it has a little bit of staying power in that sense. Koro, what are your thoughts on me holding it down for Warren with Rocket Punch and Chiquita?
I'm glad you did, because if you didn't, I would have with my last pick. It isn't my favorite song of the year necessarily. It was in my top 30, but I liked it enough where if it fell to me for the last pick, I would have just done it just for to hold it down for Warren. But yeah, this is good stuff. I think I agree. The retro sounds a bit. Let's just say I hope they don't do it again for the next one, because I feel like then they may be stretching it too far. But I think this one was good enough where it was, and I think they had some hand choreo where they say like Chiquita. It was like really fun. I think that was cool, and this is my favorite Rocket Punch title track, I think. I'm trying to think of them, but I think it is. So I like it.
Yeah, really fun stuff. Alice, what are your thoughts on Rocket Punch and Warren getting his day on the draft?
Before him, I'm happy for Rocket Punch. It's probably my favorite Rocket Punch track yet. It's very hooky. It's really fun. So yeah, it's been enjoyable for me too.
Yeah, just it fits, right? It fits with kind of the progression of retro in general, where things are starting to get I wouldn't say better, but still more polished, right? I think groups are figuring out how to make the retro sound work for them. And that's kind of where Rocket Punch is at for me. So good progression, interesting direction. Hopefully they do something a little bit different in the future. But yeah, I think a second retro song, not a bad choice for them. All right, Koro, with pick number 27, what is your selection?
Last two picks coming up here. Still need that boy group. I don't know. Is it time? I think it might be time. Just so for the last pick, I have a little more freedom. But that's not to say this isn't a great song. And honestly, this makes my overall playlist pretty GOT7 heavy. Because I'm gonna go with Na Na Na. Or is that how to pronounce? Na 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 Na. I don't know. But that's my next pick. GOT7 Na Na Na. GOT7's a group that became one of my favorite boy groups from You Calling My Name onward, which is just all-time amazing song, You Calling My Name. But they just like continue to impress me up until their unfortunate exit from JYP, and well, maybe not fortunate. We won't get into that. But now they've come back, they've returned, and I think the song is appropriate for the occasion with them coming back, showing we can still do this even though we've moved on from this company, and everything's still in good faith, it seems. And it's just fun. It's good to see them having a good time together. It didn't need to be anything crazy like some of their other stuff in the past. I think this is good for where they are now. So I like the song a lot.
Man, that's a pick. That is Alice, what are your thoughts on GOT7? So one of my favorite groups now, as just boy groups in general. I just love this group.
Yeah, I mean, this was an honorable mention for me for a couple of reasons. One is just the kudos to them for organizing to come back as a group in the way that they did. So really excited for it. And it's, for me, it's not a comeback that's been as legendary as, You Calling My Name or some of the other ones that they've done, which, I mean, you're right, Cora, that one is just pristine, top tier, great comeback. And it didn't really have, I guess the reason I didn't draft it is it didn't have the sort of, some of the more out there crazy concepts and quirkiness that I've sometimes enjoyed a lot in GOT7. I guess I tend to enjoy like more whimsy sometimes in K-pop concepts, but it's such a smooth song and it's so enjoyable to listen to. And again, all these like busy men coming back together and making this music together. It's really promising. I'm hoping that they keep doing it because they're great when they do.
Yeah, that's a great call out, that they essentially have their own individual careers, their lives, and yet their bonds, their friendship is just strong enough where it's like, yeah, we're going to put out this song, we're going to do it the K-pop way, and we're going to show you that we got this. Very smooth, bedroom R&B. It just, that chorus, it just, oh man, yeah. Jackson singing and not rapping, it just all freaking amazing. This song has 3 crowns and is retired. I think one of the last songs to be in the Hall of Spice that we kind of went over that was picked in this draft. So I think that's a steal. God, pick number 27. Good on you, Coro. Alice, what is your selection for the number 29th pick in the draft? We're in the last round, guys. This is it. We're in the last round. What is your last selection for the draft, Alice?
Well, I'm really torn between 2 tracks, but I think there's one that's emerging for me because I need this sort of place on my playlist for a kind of introspective, moody male ballad. And I don't think it was covered on the main pod, but EXO's Suho. He put out a couple of great tracks this year, and I don't really know that much about his solo career. And I'm not a big EXO listener, although I definitely enjoy a lot of their work. But it's his song "Gray Suit." So I know you mentioned Hurdle earlier, which is more like hype rock, and it's great. I really like that one. Gray Suit kind of came out more ahead for me of his two sort of solo tracks with music videos. It's a pretty sparse instrumentation. It's a really simple classic arrangement, but it really lets his vocal performance do all the work. And his voice really just takes up all the space in the track and does all this work of, you know, taking the listener along. And so it really lets the song convey this like emotional gravity and sincerity and progression. And it makes me feel things. So I'm gonna give it a place on the final place on my playlist.
Nice end cap to really emotionally punch your playlist kind of for the end. I admittedly missed this song of the 108 songs that I had on that list. But now I'm gonna go check it out because the way that you described it being a little bit more emotional with that extra, I don't know, the way that it's able to kind of differentiate itself from the other song that Suho did with Turtle, I think is amazing the way that you described it. Koro, did you check out the song? Was this on your radar?
It was on my radar because EXO is my favorite boy group, and I've been sorely missing them this year. Obviously, coming to this draft, I was like, if EXO was here, my boy group side is solidified. But I do like the song. I'm not really a ballad person, I'll have to admit, so it's not something that's been in the rotation. But when you talk EXO, you talk vocals, and Suho isn't even one of the 3 main vocalists that they have, but he's still like more than holds his own vocally, and I think the emotion behind the song is really strong. So good, great pick, great last pick especially.
Yeah, I mean, EXO's vocal line is no joke. So hearing that you are an XOL, maybe I can hit you up for some recommendations down the road.
Let's do it.
That's new information to me, Koro. I actually had no idea. I'm glad you guys were able to come together here and really celebrate EXO. And great pick on your part, Alice. All right, with my pick, 29th pick, my last pick in the draft. I am also going to select a song that was not covered on the main show. A group that has been very successful and well known throughout kind of the history of the late 2010s in K-pop. I'm a bit surprised that it wasn't covered. But, you know, I think now is a good time to give it a little bit of shine because if you've been following my playlist, I think my theme is retro, and this is 90s retro to me. This is very in living color. There are some inspirations, especially from the keys of this song, that are Blackstreet, No Diggity. And you know, you got some very dashing, dapper looking men in the spotlight, a lot of glitter, and one of the members has a cane. So, you know, we shout out to canes. We got Monsta X with Love is my last pick of the draft, and this one surprised me because I'm not a big Monsta X person in general. I just haven't listened to a lot of their music. Just missed it, right? And then a friend of mine told me, "Hey, you'll like this. Check it out." And I did, and I was just incredibly surprised that they went in this direction. 90s retro, I think, is still untapped in a lot of ways. I think NCT, I forget which unit did it, but they did 90s Love. Pretty good representation. I feel like there's a little bit more they could have done with it. Monsta X, I feel like they nailed it as far as getting the era right with the sound. Kind of cheesy raps by Juhan, but cheesy in the sense that it fits with the 90s style of aggression in a lighter song. So yeah, if you need kind of a musical, like a sonic comparison, I would say Bruno Mars and that Cardi B song are a good 1-2 with this song. So yeah, Monsta X Love surprised me this year. Really liked it. Koro, what are your thoughts on Monsta X and Love?
Yeah, this song, well, let's say Monsta X as a whole, has weirdly, I feel like, fallen under the radar among boy groups, considering how big they actually are. I'm sure the pandemic has something to do with that, but yeah, I like the comparison to the Bruno Mars Cardi B song. I think Finesse, what's the name? Yeah, I like that style of song, and this song fits with that. And honestly, I didn't have it in my like short list because I thought Alice would have snagged this song, but it looks like Crispy surprised me here, so I'm curious to hear what Alice has to say.
Alice,
Um,
go for it. Yeah.
yeah, I am a huge Mon baby. I saw them in concert back in 2019 when they were OT7, and then I saw them I guess about a month ago when it was 5. And I have reasonings behind this. I'm really glad it made the list because I'm glad to get a chance to talk about it. I enjoy it. I totally agree with everything you're saying, Crispy, about this great like late 90s little cheese. You've got that saxophone. Monsta X does like sleazy in a really compelling way. But it's like I will say that Juhan, his like little like sit back and enjoy the show, it gets a little cheesy with me, the fact that he does it twice. I think that's what made me ping it down and take it off my list. Because it's just a little too much cheese for me. But I also really appreciated, I love the breakdown after the second Juhan part. And the visuals, they look incredible. The choreography is great. Hyungwon opens, and that makes me happy because, yeah, I'm a simp for him. And yeah, but I feel bad for not including it, but I did comfort myself with the fact that I was at least including Wonho on the playlist. And I just really I want a more like hype Monsta X track. I think one of the things I love about them is that they do bring a lot of sort of spice and aggression and energy to their music. And so, yeah, I'm excited for their next. I'm always excited for their next comeback. I've been listening to Love a lot, though. I will say.
Yeah, the album, Shape of Love. I'm surprised that I got into it. I'm surprised I love it. Shout out to you, by the way, for sending me that Monsta X playlist. I've been going into it, kind of like educating myself on kind of the sound and their history. Alice, huge Mon baby. Shout out to you and Alex. I think you guys should chat. You guys are huge Mon babies as well. Surprised me how much I like the song this year. It surprised me how much it kind of fit into a retro playlist that primarily has like 80s synthwave. I could put this at the end of the playlist, kind of next to Taeyun with INVU, and like that's my transition from 90s to 2000s. And I'm just like, all right, cool. Like I'm in a good spot. All right, Koro, with the last pick in the SojuTalk Nation K-pop draft, January to June 2022. What is your selection?
Oh, last pick. And obviously, I think I've gotten a lot of the songs I wanted to get already, so I can have a little bit of flexibility here with this last pick. And I'll be honest, I only just remembered in the last round that this is supposed to be a playlist. So my songs are kind of all over the place, I'll admit. But it's not an album, it's a playlist, so it could just be a collection of great stuff. And this song, really, I did not expect to pick. It also fell under my radar until recently. I think I heard it when it came out, but I didn't really pay too much attention to it. And now I listened to it preparing for this, and it's been in my head. And whereas Alice ended on a ballad, I'm one to end on a celebration, personally. So I'm going to pick Moonbyul with Lunatic. That's my final pick and the final pick of the draft. I don't know if anyone saw this coming, but there we go. This song made her my favorite Mamamoo soloist so far. I think this song, Moonbyul is the rapper of Mamamoo, right? But obviously when you think Mamamoo, similarly to EXO, you think vocals. And she still can hold her own vocally in the song, but also because she's the rapper, when she does her rapping part, it doesn't feel awkward like these other soloists who are mainly singers and just throw in raps that are like, we didn't really need it. I think overall it's just a good time. It doesn't take itself too seriously in all the best ways, and just overall it's not something I expected from her because I don't know her too well, but it really surprised me in how much fun it was.
Great pick. That's a good one. Alice, what are your thoughts on Moonbyul closing us out with Lunatic? Again, I would say this is a retro song. It falls into the very Moonbill-esque type retro, but I mean, it's got a lot of fun. It's got a lot of cheese, and she's a great performer. What are your thoughts on Moonbill, Lunatic?
Well, Moonbill is my Mamamoo bias, so I loved Lunatic. The music video is just that the concept behind it. It's really fun, and you're right. She just delivers this kind of whimsical, funny, doesn't take herself too seriously kind of vibe when she in some of her solo work, and. But yeah, you're right. She can handle the vocal, she can handle the rap, and she can always handle just being like the coolest person in the room. So happy we get to talk about her.
Yeah, I love the way that she actually sings in a lot of her songs, because she does have a lower register. It does a nice job of kind of going back and forth between the rap and the sing, right? Where it adds a lot of character, especially to a song like this, where it's not just like an aggressive song that she's done in the past. Because I think she did start her solo career with doing Shadow Concepts, just the boy group Shadow Concept, and now I think she's kind of turned and said, I'm gonna have some fun. I'm gonna do some light stuff. Even between this song and Cheese in the Trap, later in this year, that one was a little bit overboard, but I think this one kind of pulls back and like really gives you a sense of what type of things she wants to do as far as being a fun entertainer. Yeah, super fun music video. Super colorful. I like a lot of the shots in the music video where it pulls you into different realities, kind of different senses of where your headspace is in a lot of ways. And yeah, this is actually on a retro playlist of mine too. So shout out to you, Cora, for killing that. All right, guys, that wraps up the draft. We're gonna do a quick honorable mentions. So we're gonna go Alice, me, Koro. 2. We'll do 2. We'll throw in 2. Alice, start us off. What are your 2 honorable mentions from this year so far in K-pop?
Okay, so just really fast, because a couple we already sort of talked about in the earlier draft, but I want to give a shout out to Card for coming back with Ring the Alarm. They're the only co-ed group in K-pop, so they are a precious resource that should be protected. I was glad to see that they've re-signed their contract, and they came back after JSF's enlistment with a very classic Card Ring the Alarm, tropical house, sexy track, and I love that for them. And in a couple of weeks, I'm going to be in their concert, watching Dumb Liddy, being Dumb Liddy, and I'm excited for that. And then the other one is going back to a solo artist, and I just want to shout out TVXQ's Max Changmin. He put out a great solo album at the start of the year, and his pre-release for that was Maniac, which is a really fun track. It's very sort of musical theater oriented. It shows off his vocal skills, not my typical singing style, but I really enjoyed and appreciate it. But unfortunately, I only had room for one Maniac on my playlist.
Great call out there, Alice. Yeah, Card. So much hype. I too will be seeing them in August, and yes, there are 2 men in the group. There are also 2 very attractive women in the group. That is all. All right. My 2 honorable mentions. I saw this man. My first one is a soloist. I saw this man in Oakland in a very small venue, very intimate venue. I got in pretty late in the entry process, but then essentially was still so close to his performance. The stage is like the smallest like coffee shop type of stage ever, but I was all the way in the back and I could enjoy it. I had maybe 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 drinks. It was great. The one and only Woo-sung, it phased me. I love this album, Moth. Just an incredible, like indie, emotional, angsty journey of music, and it's just really cool that a Korean American kid kind of telling a story, coming to the U.S. and touring specifically in small venues so he can have these intimate engagements with the fans, and that people can enjoy them regardless of when you get in or how close you are to the stage. So Wusong, just good music altogether. I'm going to surprise everyone here with this honorable mention. It did get one crown on the show this year. It is a boy group debut. Shout out to Vietnamese idol Hunvin with Tempest and Bad News. I really like this song. It's super bubbly. It's super bright. It's kind of what I would hope and expect. Maybe not hope and expect, but like it feels right that this is a youthful boy group debut. Really fun. I like all the graffiti, all the brightness. Maybe my brain is just stuck in the 90s, and that's kind of what the 90s looks like to me. It's just like the fun, bright graffiti. So Tempest, Bad News is my other honorable mention. Koro, what are your honorable mentions, sir?
Okay. Oh, also Tempest. I thought that was a fun track, and I thought Alice would have picked it. But mine are kind of on the opposite ends of the spectrum. So I'll go first with a track that I think pleasantly surprised a lot of people, including me, because this group wasn't on my radar before this song, and I had no expectations for it. But it would be Pixie with Villain, a more recent track, and I think it did all right on the chart. But the song is another song that kind of puts you in a trance, and I think the concept is really strong here. And I'm just curious to see what they come out with next. I didn't really know anything about them before this, so I'll be waiting. And my second, and this is a song where I think I can't reasonably leave it off of. It's not on my list, so I guess I did, but I can't leave it off of my honorable mentions because this is such a landmark moment in K-pop. Even if I think it didn't live up to the potential that was there. I have to go with Girls on Top, Got the Beat, Step Back. Came out right at the beginning of the year. And it was thrilling to see all these faces in one video on one screen singing the same song, old and new. One of my favorite girl groups, obviously Red Velvet, had members in there. I just think this is something that K-pop needs more of. These like super powered collabs. Obviously they're label mates, so it's maybe slightly easier to pull off. But Step Back, let's ignore it, hopefully. Just forget about the message. I know there's a little bit of controversy about that, but the song itself, I think, grew on me as time went on. And the dance break, seeing those three there, was really powerful. So Step Back, my final honorable mention.
Yeah, what a way to end our little draft here, considering we are like the Red Velvet cult. And Step Back is just a culmination of generations of K-pop, literally 3 decades worth of K-pop. So yeah, Boa still looking like she's their sister, Winter's sister specifically. All amazing, powerful women. Love this choreography, love the performance. Interesting song with the Gregorian chants. And yeah, I think it was a very explosive way to start the year as far as K-pop. All right, we're going to quickly run through our playlist. Alice, start us off. What is your playlist 1 through 10?
All right, I got Feel My Rhythm, Red Velvet, Love Dive, IVE, I Envy You, Taeyeon, Feelin' Like, Pentagon, Maniac, Stray Kids, Heartburn by Sunmi, Dice by Onu, Candy Sugar Pop from Astro, Crazy from Wonho, and finally, Suho's Gray Suit.
Amazing. Is there any theme that you feel like you pulled through from the playlist?
Well, it doesn't really surprise me, but I tend to go heavy on solo artists. And I have noticed that in a lot of my playlists. But I think it's a mix of, I tried to kind of get a sampler of a lot of different things that K-pop can represent, from heavy vocals to heavy rap, to really intense productions, to more stripped down affairs. But I feel like what all of these songs have in common is that they're tracks that you can listen to anytime, and they will bring you into a certain kind of mood or feeling. And that's what music's all about.
Really good contrast of like hard-hitting bangers and then kind of the mellower songs. So yeah, I think excellent playlist. I think you didn't shock us, but I think Red Velvet being number one, very fitting for kind of where our headspace is at. All right, my playlist 1 through 10. Stacy's Run to You, Big Bang, Still Life, Promise 9, DM, J Park, and IU with Ganadara, Icon, But You, Yena and BB with Smiley, Billy with Ginga Minga Yo, VVZ with Bop Bop, Rocket Punch with Chiquita, and Monsta X with Love. For me, I picked some of my favorite songs from the year for sure. I kind of thought I was gonna have a little bit more R&B songs, but it looks like the J Park song is the only one that like really stood out to me. But for the most part, I think I really hit the retro style of music this year. I took up all the retro songs that had a very similar flair and feel to it, and kind of picked up the energy with a little bit of weirdness, I would say, throughout my playlist. So yeah, this definitely feels like a playlist of my personality. So yeah, it's probably a playlist I have made in the past. So I kind of love it. All right, Carl, last up, what is your playlist? 1 through 10.
My playlist, okay. Dreamcatcher, Maison, Kepler, Up, Nyan, Pop, Bam Bam featuring Solgi, Who Are You, Very Very Undercover, Espa with Illusion, Psy featuring Suga, That, Yugim, Take You Down, GOT7, Na Na Na, and Moonbyul, Lunatic.
Any thoughts and feelings about how it all came together?
As I said before, I completely forgot this was supposed to be a playlist, so it's kind of all over the place, but I did get 10 of my true top 14, I believe. So these are just songs that I do really enjoy, and these are bangers, I believe. And I think I'm maybe leaning R&B a good amount. And I realized afterward it wasn't intentional, but I did end up having 5 male boy group solo artists and 5 female groups and solo artists, and I think it was pretty balanced in the end, a balanced overview of the first half of the year.
Yeah, man, a lot more male and boy groups than I would anticipated. Not in a bad way, but just like, oh yeah, like you do really listen to a lot of stuff, man. So it's just really cool that there's a lot of variety. So yeah, shout out to the playlist. Of course, Dreamcatcher going as your number one pick. I could have thrown in some chaos, but I didn't. I went with my heart. So sorry, Warren. Maybe next time. All right, guys. Closing thoughts. You know, this was a great exercise. This is a fun time. Just Alice, how are you feeling after this this incredible draft of music?
Well, you know, I'm not going to lie. I'm still a little bitter I lost Run to You, but you can't have it all. But it's, you know, this has been a great exercise because I think when you look back in hindsight, that's when you really start to see like the shape of music or the shape of how things are changing. And 2022 has been a really interesting year so far. You know, I think thinking back on the releases of the first half of 2021, you had so many really strong releases. You know, that was like the year of like Lilac and you know, just a lot of really amazing stuff. And so I was wondering if this year would stand up to it. And I think that this year really, you know, I'm starting to see a personality emerge to 2022 and its music. And this has been a really fun exercise.
Yeah, I think there was a little bit of hesitation that the year was starting off a little slow. But I think on deeper investigation and kind of digging into a lot of the songs and letting the songs sit with us for a little bit longer, we had some really quality stuff this year so far. Coral, what are your overall thoughts of kind of looking back and reflecting on music for the first half of 2022?
I'm glad we got to do it because honestly, there are periods of this year where I feel like I kind of bounced out of K-pop. I was still checking out whatever I was getting covered, but not so much anything else. So I'm glad I got to go back and check out a lot of fun stuff. And some of those songs ended up making my list. So 2022, I think it's had a pretty strong first half, at least on the top end. And considering what July has been like, we're only just getting started. So look forward to seeing what the second half of the year looks like.
Yeah, July is crazy. I think Warren and I talked about this last week, and I think this kind of reinforces the sentiment that we have the most variety in K-pop than I can remember in recent memory, especially over the past 3 years. Warren went back and said when they started the show, it was very specific that Tropical House and Moonbathon were very dominant across a lot of different groups that may not have had that as a character. And now it feels like a lot of groups have their own color, their own concepts. They don't have to specifically hit a seasonal concept, right? Yes, we do have retro that's still very strong and powerful, but it feels like the groups that are doing retro, it's fitting that they're doing it, right? I mean, you have two different styles of retro even. I can go from like Monsta X late 90s to Rocket Punch, feeling like I'm in Miami Vice. And then you have groups that are still just doing their own sound, which I think shows a lot of experimentation and risk moving into kind of the rest of the year in K-pop in general. And I think we're in a good spot. I think we're in a kind of a golden era with kind of the variety of music in K-pop right now. So I think this exercise, these lists, these playlists have done a nice job of surfacing a lot of music that I probably either would have missed or only listened to once or twice throughout the year. And I'm just really happy that you guys were able to stick it through and hang in there and, you know, do this game with me, because this was super fun and super exciting. And man, this was wild. Yeah, Alice, anything else? Any closing thoughts you have for our time together today?
Just gratitude, you know, thanks for putting this together. It's been super fun. You know, thanks Koro for your thoughts, and thanks in advance for that EXO playlist I'm going to get from you. But really it's been fun. It's taken my mind off of the abysmal temperatures outside.
I'm glad that we were able to kind of cool you down with just the heat wave that's happened on the East Coast. Koro, you have the last words. How you feeling, man?
Yeah, the heat's ridiculous right now, but yeah, this is so much fun. Thank you, Crispy, the GOAT, as always, for doing what you do, man. This is a lot of fun. I know this probably ran super long, Ramble Fest here, 3.0, but we have fun. I've never needed to use the bathroom more in my life, so that's how you know we did a good job covering all these songs. So thank you, Alice, as well, for being here and holding it down on the other side of maybe the spectrum here with the songs. You picked a lot of things I wouldn't have necessarily paid a lot of attention to that I think are good stuff. So I had a lot of fun.
Yeah, no, thank you both. You guys are true troopers and just, you know, so open to participating. Just to shout you guys out. We were working on this for months. I told Koro and Alice this at the beginning of summer, and I finally put together the list. It was a lot of songs, but it does feel like it turned out really well, and it's a good reflection on the year that was with K-pop so far. Looking forward to doing a part 2 of this for the next half of the year. Hope maybe we'll get another guest on the show. I don't know, man. Maybe I hear some things that this guy is interested. But yeah, that does it for the K-pop draft. We'll have the playlist in some form, either an image or a document or a Spotify playlist in the description. So please check it out for the full playlist. Yeah, no, all amazing stuff. Let's sign out. Thank you, everyone, for listening to the SojuTalk Nation podcast. K-pop draft 2022. First half of the year on episode 49. Subscribe on YouTube, follow on Spotify, Apple Podcast, or wherever you listen to podcasts, and continue the conversation on the SojuTalk Kpop Podcast Discord. This has been the SojuTalk Nation for Alice and Koro. This is Crispy. Bye.